Welcome, everyone, to the Living Oneness Gathering. I am your host, Sue Dumais. It's an honor to be here once again with you, sharing this space, shifting consciousness from head to heart, and aligning with love, being these beautiful beacons and messengers of love in the world. It is so needed right now, more than ever before, but not only for everyone else in the world, but for you to be a beacon of love within yourself, for you to embody and align with the frequency of love, not only affects how you think, how you feel, it affects your physical body, it affects your energy field, it affects your how life shows up for you, how it reflects back that same love that you are embodying. It changes everything. It changes everything when you are aligned with love and not driven by fear. The programming that is so deeply embedded in our society, and this is all around the globe, is fear-based. And everything we look upon has an element or a sprinkle of fear in it. And if we meet that fear with our own fear, fear expands even more. So if we can look upon the fear in the world, the programming, the effects of everything that's happening within people's lives and all around the globe, but we do so from a lens of love, we do so from a lens of compassion, we do that from a place of empathy, then we are adding love into the world and love expands. So when we meet fear with love, love expands every single time. And when we meet fear with fear, fear expands every single time. So, and it doesn't mean that you can't have fear at all. It's common to have fear, especially when the messages we're getting is all around us. The choice is love. The choice is to align with the true essence of who you are, which is love. We are not fear-based beings. We are love-based beings. We are imbued with love. It is our essence. And it is not only our essence, it is our birthright here as a human to be able to align and feel and experience love at depths and in ways that we couldn't begin to imagine. We are scratching the surface of what's available to us. There's so much more available to us. There's so much more potential for this human experience, for this human life classroom. And that all begins within you and me and we, all of us, making a different choice. And that choice is moment to moment. And you are making a choice moment to moment, whether you realize it or not, whether you're conscious of it or not. There's a choice that's happening. And every time you align with love, every time you align with empathy, with compassion, with a peace, whatever it is that you resonate with in this moment, whatever it is that you're meant to embody and become a beacon for in that moment, when you do that consciously, when you do that intentionally, the reach and the impact is far greater than we can imagine. When we are operating just from a place of default, going along and living life by default, then we're limited by our programming. We are limited by our own perception of what's possible at the level of the mind, because what's possible at the level of the mind is nowhere near what's possible at the level of the heart. The heart has no limits, no boundaries in the way of geographical boundaries. There's no limits in the way of what's possible. It's our minds, our human minds, that have been programmed for limitation, for scarcity, for poverty consciousness, for all these things. So as we're shifting into a new earth energy and we're really learning to embody the frequencies of the new earth, what we're really inviting is our essence to come to to the forefront, to be more operating from that space of the essence of who we are. And the presence of our essence leads the way. We're animated by love. We're allowing love to be a beacon that will call us towards something or let us shine the light on the path we're on. Your heart is a powerful, powerful tool. And up until now, we've been encouraged to not trust it, to be more in our heads, to think about things, to analyze it, to really weigh the pros and cons and figure it all out. And be in that dualistic, limited programming. When we shift out of the head and into the heart, we're tapping into the infinite field of pure potential. You're tapping into the source of who you are. So the invitation is to lean in, to allow, to invite, to consciously choose, and to recognize that if you're not consciously choosing, in some ways, you're still choosing by default. So making a choice to really align fully, wholly, and completely with what you know in your heart. The knowing in your head is limited. The knowing in your heart is infinite. It's eternal. It's boundless. We can tap into messages, we can tap into information, we can tap into guidance, we can tap into energy that our minds can't comprehend. So our minds actually hold us back. The world and the programming can hold us back, but our own minds can hold us back. And actually our own minds hold us back more than anything else. If we buy into the programming, if we believe all of the things that we've been taught, and all of the limiting beliefs and limitations in the way of perspectives and what's possible and what's not possible. If we believe all of that, then we hold ourselves in prison. Our mind becomes our own prison. The very prison that we're trying to escape from. We imprison ourselves. So the recipe to free yourself is to get out of your head into your heart and lead with your heart, to let your heart guide you, direct you, and let the mind take the passenger seat where it belongs. It comes along for the ride only because the heart guides it and leads it and directs it. So it follows directions. The head is not meant to lead. The heart is the leader. The heart is the driver. It's a driving force for our evolution. As a powerful force for change within us and around us. And it has the potential to change everything in a holy instant. When we are tapped into our heart, we're tapped into the unified field. The unified field is something to change in an instant. We can access different timelines. We can change the trajectory of the path we're on just with the thought that comes from the heart. It's more contemplative, reflective thought or thinking. There's no thinker, there's just thought. The mind's the thinker. The thought comes and then you think about it. You think about the thought, and you think about that thought. And then you have another thought that you think about that related to that thought. That's chaos. Not good chaos. Imprisoning chaos. Clarity of the heart is a knowing that goes beyond logic and reason. It goes beyond even thinking and beliefs. It's just a knowing, and it can come in as a thought, a word, a sentence. It can be given from that space of the heart, and it can be used by our other faculties. But our mind is not meant to be in charge. Our head is the prison. Our heart is the freedom. Our heart is the wings that we will grow when we take the leap. And I've been teaching heart-led living for a long time now. So 2012, I started to really actively teach and do mentoring for heart-led living. And prior to that, I was doing my best to operate from the place of the heart, but it was so many contradictions to us intuitively living. This world contradicts heart-led living. It contradicts intuitive living, but only because we've created it with our minds. We've created it through the limitations and the filters and the programming of our mental capacity, what we believe is possible and not possible at the level of the mind. When we really start to tune into the heart and create from that space, we break down all limits. We blast through the blocks. We can cross all boundaries that we have perceived as an obstacle in our mind. We will experience a freedom, a soul freedom, a freedom that you can't experience in your head. Now, I share this and I give you enough information for your mind to come along for the ride. We don't want the mind resisting and digging in the heels. But at the same time, eventually the mind needs to be let go. It can't fully come into the experience of oneness and the experience of a full awakening to realize the truth of who you are. The mind's not designed that way. And yes, our neurovascular system is changing. And yes, our neurons and our bodies and our brain is changing. And yes, our DNA is changing. And all of our structures are in a transfiguration in the process of that. I'm not sure where the mind will end up in the end, how it will actually be functioning or working for us. It'll be different, very, very different than the one we have right now. And we don't need to worry about that. It'll just occur. It'll just happen. The same way you don't worry about a flower that's flowering or a flower that's growing. It grows. So we are growing. We are expanding. And everything we're going through, we're growing through. If you do that intentionally, you'll be able to experience even more growth in a short amount of time. And when we have less resistance and we have less intensity in the experiences that we have. So let's take a moment. I'm already working with your energy just by just talking. Let's just take a moment to allow that message to really land. So rest your eyes closed and breathe and feel and sense and know the space within your heart that is clear, that is aligned, that is true. The true essence of you resides there. It resides within and all around. It's not limited. It's infinite, eternal, and boundless. And you can open the mind by using wonderment. I wonder what it would feel like to really, truly, deeply feel the essence of my presence of Source within me. The essence of my divinity, dancing as my breath, moving in and out of the spaces and within and around all my cells and my body, flowing through my veins. I am open in this moment to experience the energy and essence of my divinity to the extent and to the depth that I am capable of experiencing it in this moment. Knowing that in each moment I invite this feeling, this recognition, this remembrance. Every moment I invite this remembrance. My experience of my essence may feel a little different, perhaps a little more expanded. So meet it fresh in this moment. Breathe and allow. As you breathe, create some space to feel. Create some space to experience and to sense the energy within and around you. And if there's any parts of you that resist, any parts of you that are afraid, stir them in. Stir them into your heart. Witness them, honor them. Process that energy. Allow that energy to be transmuted as it's felt and experienced, expressed, and released. Or perhaps it's shifted into an energy that would actually serve. And you might even try using the what if game. What if I am no longer blocked? What if there is nothing holding me back from experiencing the truth of who I am? What if it was easier than I think to experience the essence of my divinity? What if it was just as easy as breathing? And be open to the subtle nuances of your divinity. It may be subtle, it may be obvious, it may be small, it may be large. Just be with what is. And bring in the energy of gratitude and appreciation. Honoring and celebrating the ways that you feel the connection to your divine essence. And honoring and celebrating the ways that you have shone light on the resistance or fear. Fear is not the enemy. Resistance is not the enemy. It's a finger pointing you in a direction. It's pointing you to your leftovers. It's pointing you to something to see, to feel, to know, to experience, to overcome, to move through, to forgive, whatever's needed. We can honor it all, welcome it all. And when I say make a conscious choice for love, it doesn't mean you dismiss the fear and you push it aside and you bury it or ignore it. Welcome it in, stir it into your heart. If there's anything I need to know from this fear, then let it be shown, let it be revealed to my heart, let it be understood at the level of the heart. I do not wish to hold any more resistance. I'm willing to lift the filters of forgetfulness to remember the truth of who I am and why I am here at this time. We each have an essential role to play. And if you're here breathing, there is purpose to you being embodied within your humanness. We can be in our humanness without being limited by it, because we can embody our divinity and embrace our humanness all at the same time. In the same moment, we can welcome both, we can honor both. We don't need to choose. We get to experience both our divinity and our humanness, but in an unlimited capacity. Take some more deep breaths. This is who you are. Divine essence is who you are. A divine essence in a unique expression as a human being. So you can declare, yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm willing. Yes, I'm willing to play my part. Yes, I'm willing to remember the truth of who I am. And I'm willing to experience the essence of my divinity more and more in each moment, to expand more and more into the truth of my essence, of my oneness within and all around me. Yes, thank you. See if you can hold that essence, hold that energy within and around you. It's you. It's all you. It's as certain as your breath. And you may feel guided to stay with an inner awareness with your eyes closed and stay with that feeling essence. Or you may feel to open your eyes and see if you can invite that energy and awareness to continue to be present as you bring your physical eyesight into the picture. Sometimes the brain shifts and turns on differently when the eyes are open versus when the eyes are closed. So see if you can bring that meditative presence with you as you open your eyes so that you not just sit in meditation, but you become a living, breathing meditation. You are the meditation. You are the breath. You are divinity. This is a practice of remembrance. It's not learning something, it's an unlearning, unlearning, unprogramming, undoing, unschooling, so that you can remember. We were born with a level of remembrance, although we did program ourselves to forget to some degree. So it's going back to that remembrance the best you can. And when you forget, you forgive yourself. And when you remember, you can celebrate, bring that energy of celebration in. So stay with your breath. And I'm going to switch gears to the readings. I'm going to do some readings today. So for intuitive readings, you can type in the chat. And if you can be short and sweet, as short and sweet as possible, and I can tune into what you're asking. And whenever I'm reading within a group setting, there's always an opportunity for whatever I'm saying to resonate or land for you. There may be overlap or there may be connection to what the person's asking, or I might just say something and you're like, oh my God, that message was for me too. And it maybe sound totally unrelated, but it landed really deeply. So what you're doing is you're open, you're listening, you're curious, and just letting it come in and land when as it's meant to. So, in other words, opening up to hearing what you need to hear when you need to hear it. Sometimes what we need to hear is not always what we want to hear. So, if you feel resistance and you want to like run away, then you might recognize that there's something you're avoiding. So, be open to that. Okay, so I'm just going to tune in and see what jumps out at me on in the questions. I'll just see what jumps out and go from there. Heather, next up on my, you don't have quite the words, I'm going to say journey. I'm going to assume it's journey. Next up on my journey. Okay, yeah. Let me just see. I see you actually standing at, it's not just a fork in the road. Well, it's a fork in the road, but there's like three pathways. And there's two pathways that are quite familiar to you, and you're almost like you're weighing the two. And meanwhile, this third one is like, hello, like it's got some flashy lights and it's like trying to get your attention, but you're not looking that direction. So I feel like there's elements of the first two that are tempting you to go with what's familiar. This path is like something different. So I need you to be open to something different. It doesn't mean that you're going to change your life completely, but there's some element of that path that's fresh and new that you haven't tried on before or that you may not be considering. Does that make sense? Hmm. So be open, be curious. Let it kind of let that marinate because your mind is closed to that third path. Your heart is open, but your mind is closed. It's not even looking over there. It's like you go to look over there and you're like, no, 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 these two paths, look here, like focus. And then you go to look over there and your mind is like, no, 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 focus here. So it's actually distracting you from even considering a third, that third path. So I'll leave that with you. Um, Fallon, I book an Airbnb in my new country more than 1 week ahead? I'm not getting a clear answer for you around that, but I keep hearing like spontaneity and flexibility. So there may be some structure, but more spontaneity and flexibility. there's a real invitation for you to be more trusting versus planning and trusting things to unfold. So there may be a little bit more last minute things unfolding, but at the same time, sometimes you might be guided to plan a little further ahead. So it's more not having too much structure. It's like flexibility within structure, and spontaneity keeps coming in. Spontaneous feels like a lesson that you really need to invite in right now. So maybe even starting your day is like, what would spontaneity feel like today? And go with the feeling of it and see where it leads you, as opposed to figuring out what spontaneity would look like. It's more of a feeling. So I'm that with you. Marianne, I wonder if it's time to move back to Europe. I feel like you already know that answer, but in your head you don't. In your heart you do. If you tune into your heart, I feel like you will have that answer really clearly, and timing may not be, mm, the timing may be different than what you think in your head versus what you know in your heart. So I keep being pointed to your heart around that, and I'm not getting a clear answer, but that's where I'm being pointed to you. Mm. Kendra, what do I need to face that is causing the pain? Okay, I'm getting drawn to your legs and your hip, and then I keep hearing one step, two step, one step, two step. I'm not sure what that means for you, but one step, two step. And I part of it feels like really focusing on the step that's in front of you, but another part of you is I feel like there you part of you still has your foot in the old versus stepping into the new. So there's almost like a split. I'm feeling the split at the pelvis, right and left side, but I don't know if that's where your pain is, but I keep getting drawn to your hips and your pelvis. And it is definitely affecting the low back because there's not just the emotional or mental kind of indecision or worry about making the wrong choice or making the right choice or staying in what's familiar and trying to pull yourself out of that old habit of staying in the familiar. There's there's also a physical torque in the body. So I feel like your body is torqued. So you could have the support on the physical level, but emotionally and mentally, you need to discern what it is that you are resisting. And then, and it feels related to a path choice, a path choice. So I'll leave it there. Um, just go into Edith around energy of your work. I just keep hearing you are your biggest block. Around your work, you are your biggest block. There's a point right in the center of the forehead at the third eye, and then I'm also getting a point just underneath the eye on the right side. And it's like I keep feeling like there's something here that you're resisting, and it's in the physical body. There's some like even fascia resistance. You could even do like a little bit of massage in that space. And then the third eye too. I feel like there's just some tension in the fascia that's holding, keeps holding you back from seeing or sensing or knowing what path you're meant to be on. There's similar to what I was getting earlier too, is just like there's this path that well, let's say it this way. When you're discerning what to do next or what now, sometimes we look through a lens that we're like, okay, here's this possibility is here inside this lens. And that's within the human lens, within our human perspective, within our human mind, or within our human experience. We're open to this size of lens, let's say. And our divinity, our higher self, is guiding us to something else that's outside of the scope of this lens. So we have to go beyond the scope of that lens, expand beyond it in order to open up to what's the messages or what the guidance is. I feel like you've got a little bit of tunnel vision, but although your tunnel vision is broader than a lot of people would be, it's not broad enough for you to actually tap into what you're now being guided to move toward. There's a part of you, again, I feel like it's a bit of a theme. Everybody's going to what's familiar or comfortable, but stretchy, but still a little comfortable or a little familiar. But it's almost like you have to kind of throw all the cards up and let them fly and trust that whatever lands lands, or whatever side the card lands up, or wherever it plays out is how it plays out. Again, that spontaneity is anything that you're guided to do in this moment could change in the next moment. Now, you guys might have noticed all my stuff is back on my office. The offer fell through in our house. I was grateful for it because it wasn't feeling aligned, and the people that were trying to buy it were demanding so many more things. And I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. It doesn't feel aligned. So it's like we're getting so many redirects in our lives right now. And we have to really be open to those redirects. Because if you have kind of a plan or an idea, or even if you have a perspective or a lens of what's possible, right now we are being asked to really expand our minds more than ever before and expand beyond what we believe or think is possible more than ever before. So it is a bit mind blowing, mind stretching, mind expanding. At the same time, it's going to go beyond what the mind can stretch. So we have to really allow ourselves to stretch as far as we can at the level of the mind, and then shift out of the mind to really let the rest take care of itself. So spontaneity and redirects, and really like so present. You can absolutely commit to something because you're moving toward it. So I was committed to selling our house, and that's what I was committed to. Now this morning I was like, we're pulling it off the market. That's what I'm clear, and I'm committed to that. I'm taking it off the market. But tomorrow we could be we might be putting it back on. I don't know what it'll be. We can't know what the future holds. Period. We can only know what this moment holds. And in this moment, I'm clear about, or I'm open to, or I feel this, or I'm present to. I don't know what the future holds. I only know what this moment holds. That can be your mantra. That's been my mantra it was my mantra for years, but it's really been my mantra for the last 6 months again. This is where we're at, living moment to moment and letting go of future. Although we might commit to a path, we fully commit, but we commit in the moment. And moment to moment, we're committing. And then when that commitment is meant to change and we're redirected, then we commit to that redirect. That's hard for the mind. That's hard for our human programming because we want to hold steady and achieve the goal and do the thing and celebrate with the outcome. But it's not about the outcome. It's about being present in the moment. That's the only outcome, is being present in the moment. That's the only outcome that matters. And it's hard for the brain. It's hard for the brain, it's hard for the mind, the human mind. Okay. Am I to ask my father to stop coming to the land? No, it's your deeper healing. It's for your deeper healing, whatever happens, whether he comes or doesn't come. That's your healing. Yeah, that's clear. Okay. Melissa, what is the root of my self-worth appearing as eating disorder? Is it the belief in separation or trauma? It's a little bit of both. I do feel like there's a part of you punishing yourself. I feel like there's some form of, like, I can see a gavel, like a judge's gavel, and it's like guilty, guilty, like you're judging yourself as guilty. And there's almost this like perception of punishment, and the punishment is self-directed. And you're creating your own sentence. That's the feeling I have. The biggest wound we have is our wound of separation, but start with how you feel separated from your higher self. How do you feel separated from your true self? How do you feel separated from your heart? How do you feel separate or disconnected from your essence? That's if we can look at that wound within ourselves, then the wound on the outside, which is separation playing out, will feel different. But I feel like it's connected there for you. And it's a bit of a rat's nest. There's not just one thread in that. I'm seeing multiple threads, but begin there. Begin with, how do I judge myself and how can I lift that judgment? How can I start to see myself as innocent? How can I align with my innocence and remember my oneness and feel that connection to my true sense of self? So there's this separation from who you think you are or who we think we are as a human, and then there's the separation from our true essence. That's the one that's really stingy and hurts the most. That's the biggest wound. So it's more your divine essence. And who we are, who we thought we are all these years is just not even who we are. So letting go of our self-identified humanness, like the self-identified or the ego-identified human, that's got to be, we're in the process of letting go of that. And holding on to any aspect of that is not going to serve, it's not going to help. And part of us going back and forth with selling, not selling with this whole house is it did actually shine light on a few little pieces that I had left and old ways that Sue likes to plan and know what's going to happen and figure things out. That all had to be broken down, and that's definitely something I accomplished in the last 6 months. Whether we sell our house or not, that was the gift. That was one of the gifts I discovered, and another part of the gift was around my husband making some different choices around his health and stuff. So there was some miracles, lots of miracles that came out of this. Just not the outcome that the world would perceive as, that's your goal and that's your intention. The outcome didn't happen. I'm like, that wasn't my goal. And to be able to learn the lessons that we are learning and to really bring everything into the light of awareness right now is important, because we don't want to have leftovers, and we can't have leftovers with the energies that are coming in for us on the frequency levels that they're going to come in. You're not going to be able to handle any leftovers in your body and in your field. So looking at everything and making sure you are, this is a message for everybody, but it's kind of, that all happens when I'm talking. It's like it's all going to spread out into all of you. If we allow each moment to provide the lesson, the gem, the healing, the opportunity that it offers, if we are open to receive it in that moment, you will move through things with a lot more ease and grace. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It will be challenging, and you'll have ups and downs, and sometimes you'll feel like a yo-yo, and sometimes you'll feel really heavy with grief, and sometimes you'll feel really light with joy. But it's not about judging any of those emotions, just allowing yourself to go through all of the array of range of all those emotions and those experiences, so that you can shine light on all your leftovers. We don't want to leave any leftovers. If you need help with that, the 30-day Elevate Your Frequency program, we just completed it in March, but you can sign up for it and start with day one and go for it. It gives you all these different ways that you can become aware of what your leftovers are, what your programming is, different tools and things that you can practice, different ways you can do, like detoxing your inbox, simple stuff like that. But then it also goes through the emotional scale and how to move through the emotions and walk yourself through higher states of consciousness. So it's got a variety of a lot of different things. You can check out that on the website, heartledliving.com. And the one other thing I'll mention, just as we're here, on a mentoring side of it, I literally got up this morning and was shown to offer an opportunity for advanced mentoring for the month of April. So there'll be 4 live calls with me. It'll be a small group, and we'll be working together to do some advanced mentoring. So if you want to be more clear about what your roles are, your soul mission or your divine assignment, or if you just want help kind of blasting through some blocks and clearing out any programming that might be left over, it's live direct access to me in a small group, and it's for April only. So it's just 4 weeks commitment. So everybody's been asking for some advanced mentoring. So I'm throwing that out there. It literally just, oh, actually, I think I have it for those of you that are on the call. Here's the link. It's in the, I just posted it as a announcement in the group in our social community. So you'll have to be logged in to see the announcement, but it is something you can jump into if you feel a heart yes, if you want to really commit to April being a month where you shift gears and receive the support you need to do that. Now, let me go back. Where are we here? Go back up to the readings. Heather's like, no wonder I'm confused. Yes. Yes. Okay. Adrian, should I pursue publishing my book? When I read that question, I feel this like really heavy density in my solar plexus and this like heaviness in my heart. It's almost like a combination of grief in the heart and then this like fist of resistance twisting and turning at the solar plexus. I'm I feel like you need to look at those two spaces and process the emotions that are there before you'll have clarity around what you're meant to do or not meant to do around it. There is a part of you resisting knowing either way, whether you're to continue or whether you're not. But that, and then there's a part of you that would grieve. Actually, it's grieving whether you have to publish or not as well. It's actually playing both ends against the middle. So it's like you have this tug of war at the heart and you have this tug of war in the solar plexus. Those two areas, you'll need to move some of the energy and really go in. You could use somatic processing to go in. So it's not so much thinking about it and figuring it out in the head. It's more going into the body, meeting the energy, meeting the emotions, and using somatic processing to clear the pathways or shine light on what's really there and what's really holding you in that. Mm. A way to shield contamination in and out of the dream realm since the new interference came in. It's not seeming as effective. It's for you, Jamie, it's the sail to tail. Start there, lift the sail to tail, work on that, and then do so this first before you go to bed, they're coming in through the falx membrane. That's the pathway right now. And the reason there's a point of entry there is in the left brain, you have a loop that's playing something along the lines of that you can't protect yourself or that you're not capable or that you are still vulnerable somehow to the interference. So address that left brain loop and step out of the left brain, activate your falx membrane, sail to tail, and then do the shower of light in and out of the dream realm. There is some interference from the dream realm here. You need to call that back first and then close the door. If you don't call it back, send it back to the dream realm where it belongs. It'll stay here. You can't clear it here. It's from there. You have to put it back in the dream realm first. So that's what I would do. That's my suggestion. Which person resonates more to help me organize? You already know that. You already have it. You already have that answer. It's in your heart. Your head is making you question it, but go with the feeling in your heart. You already know, Kim. You already know. Mm. Wait, what do I need to open to? First word that came in was love. I'm drawn to the front of your heart space. Interesting, the black of the heart space is open, so there is a part of you open to receive love, but it's filtered or limited. And then through the front of the heart, there's more of a block of extending love right now. It's almost like if you extend love, you get stung, is the feeling. Like I keep seeing a bee sting. I don't know if that's been your experience, but that's what I'm feeling right now. And then in that, in that whole recipe of love in the heart, what you're doing is focusing on human love. And human love is always going to have some element of hurt or suffering. And I feel like there's part of you protecting your heart, but it's holding the hurt in. So you need to fling your heart wide open, allow everything to move through you so that you can move that energy and then shift from the experience of human love to more divine love. And divine love comes without limits, without conditions. And it's not that we need to receive unconditional love and divine love from those around us, because others aren't necessarily going to be capable of that. But if you can embody that within yourself, extend that love toward yourself, open your heart and know that that love is powerful and impenetrable, then when the conditional love comes from the outside, it won't feel like such a sting, if that makes sense. Mm. See, let me see the time. Okay. Mm. Valerie had a lot of suffering with the pain of my greyhound, Maddie, and her corn problems. And well, anything that's on your path is part of your path. The question is, can you have compassion for her without focusing on suffering? Can you have compassion for others without focusing on suffering? That's divine compassion. Human compassion comes with suffering. It's actually, it suffering and compassion on a human level is they need to be together. And people don't can have no compassion all of a sudden they see someone suffering and they have compassion. Our compassion, our capacity to be compassionate beings is not conditional to suffering. We've been programmed for that. We've been conditioned to believe that. But our ability to have compassion for an animal or anyone, or even ourselves, does not have to be conditional to suffering. So divine compassion without suffering, we can have compassion and it's more like a living in reverence, reverence for everyone, honoring their experiences, whether they're positive or negative. We can judge them as positive or negative, but we lift those judgments, then we can just honor everybody's experience. And recognizing if it's on their path, it must be purposeful. So sometimes we don't always understand why an animal might, we have the perception that they're suffering or have a challenging experience. And I know with our dog recently that passed away very quickly. He went downhill, and in the end, I was sitting with him, and my husband was like, "Well, maybe we'll wait till tomorrow to bring him to the vet." And I'm like, "He's ready to go. Like he's not. He doesn't need to stay. The question is, do you need him to stay one more day? Do you need him to be with you one more day?" Or are we okay to say goodbye now, to put an end to his suffering? And and that's the decision we made, is like he was ready to go. I felt it. I knew it in his heart and soul. But the lesson we learned from him in that last week was a deeper connection to him and to our experience of life. There was a lot that came in from that experience. I won't go into all the details, but it's so much more than just what's happening with our pets. It's so much more than what's just happening with our family members, with our friends, with the people, with everything that's going on in the world. It's so much more than what you're seeing. And if you can see and look upon what's happening, but broaden out, like zoom out, broaden that scope of your awareness and that scope of your perspective, and recognize that this is so much, everything is so much bigger than I think it is, then you can really feel the potential every experience holds. And whether that experience holds an element or perception of suffering, or whether that experience holds an element or perception of joy, a happiness, it can be equally powerful. And we can have just as much resistance. In fact, a lot of people have resistance to happiness and joy. There's a lot of people that are really uncomfortable with happiness and joy, and they hit a set point, and then they sabotage or They do something to kind of make the trauma happen again, or make the suffering happen again, because that's more familiar. And it's part of our default programming. So we're changing all of that too. All right, let me continue here. Savannah, I'm for your knee, I'm actually drawn to a couple different things. There's a like structurally, the fascia in the foot and the hip is actually causing the tension in the knee. There's a fascial tension. It's like a twisting of the knee, so that makes it uncomfortable. The neurovascular system above and below the knee is also very protective and holding, so it's gripping. So every time you go to move it, you don't have the glide and the movement in the knee, so it's actually causing a lot of wear and tear. Whether you had an injury or not in that space, the above and below the joint is actually part of what you need to release. An osteopath can help you with that. There's neurovascular release techniques. There's a practitioner, Kieran Shoemaker. They are in the States, but they do Zoom calls. You can search for their information. Neurovascular release techniques have been made a huge difference in my body, because the neurovascular system will go into protection after an injury and it doesn't release that protection. So the neurovascular system doesn't glide in the pathways around the fascia and the muscles. So that's what I'm being pointed to for you for there. So let me pause. There's a lot more there, but I need to pause. So I want you to take a deep breath and recognize that somewhere in here, somewhere in this gathering was a message for you. And the question is, how open are you to receive the message at the depth that you're meant to receive it? And let me receive, so your prayer would be, let me receive the message as deeply as possible in the way that would serve me at the highest level. And those messages that were coming, maybe indirectly, let me receive them in the way that I'm meant to at this moment. Let me receive what I need to receive. There's what we want and there's what we need. Let me receive what I need to receive in every moment. And keep feeling that experience of opening the mind, expanding the mind. The mind and the brain is not, it doesn't hold all the answers, and it doesn't have what you think it has. It doesn't, the value we hold at the level of the mind isn't there the way it used to be, and in the way that we are meant to now experience it. It's changed, it's shifted, and it's continuing to shift. So the invitation is to let it shift. Let yourself get out of the head and into the heart. Invite heart consciousness. Invite the heart to take the driver's seat. Invite the heart to guide the mind in every aspect of your being. The heart is the bridge, the direct bridge to your soul. The essence and the soul of who you are resides within the heart space. It's a direct line to guidance. It's a direct line to insight. There's so much going on in the world right now, so many temptations to be distracted on the outside. And the more you can go inward and feel that connection to the essence of who you are, the divine being that's within you always, the more you can do that, the more equipped you will feel to face anything and everything that's on your path right now. Life as we have known it is ending. And life as it's meant to be has already begun. So stop looking in the review mirror. Stop looking back at what used to work and what was. Let go of everything that was and lean into the new, lean into allowing yourself to become the mush in between the phase of caterpillar and butterfly. A lot of you are in the mush. And you don't know what the butterfly is going to look like. You don't know what the wings are going to look like. You don't know what the colors are going to look like. You don't even know if your butterfly is going to look like a butterfly. You might look like a dragon or something totally different. You're in the mush. We don't know what the future holds, but we do know that it's going to be better than anything we've experienced before. That I can tell you with 100% certainty. If you stay in alignment with love, if you hold your frequency with the new earth energies, you will experience life, an extraordinary life, one that you can't comprehend or even guess. And it will be all worth it. All of this work, all of the intensity, all of the healing, all of the awakening, all of the pieces will all be well worth it. That I can absolutely say with certainty. So if you can't have that clarity and if you're not landing in that knowing, borrow mine. I've got lots. Borrow lots of mine and hold steady. It's like I believe Sue. I don't believe it myself yet, but I believe Sue, or I'm going to borrow her knowing, because you can feel it. You can feel it in your heart, and you can go back and forth in your head, but you can feel the knowing. It can resonate deep in your heart. Feel your heart. Your heart knows. That's what I'm speaking to. That's what I'm connecting with. That's where I'm sending and planting all of these seeds. And that's why you feel it deeply. But your mind might be like, but I'm not sure. Don't worry about what your mind is saying. You don't have to listen to your thoughts. You don't have to even believe anything that's going on in your head at this point. Just lead with your heart. Follow your heart. Your heart knows. And it won't lead you astray. I promise you. All right. I thank you all for being here. I'm so grateful for this community and for all of you for being here and sharing this space and holding the intention to shift consciousness from head to heart and to really embody love. I love you. I appreciate you. I honor you. I see you. And I'm grateful. Until next time, love and blessings.